Welcome to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection since 1991. I'm Linda Karnauskas, and I want to thank you for joining us on this Wednesday, June 8th. We have an informative show for you today. First, we'll get an update with the Owatonna Police Department, and then later on, we're going to be visiting with our friends from the Yellow Ribbon Open Arms organization, so you won't want to miss that. And to our viewers, we want to say, if you have ideas for guests or show topics or any suggestions, we'd love to hear from you. So please contact us at owatonnatoday@charter.net or by calling our show's producer, Leanne T, at 390-5751. We will take a short break to hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back. So please stay with us.
Hi, I'm Jody Voisin with the staff at Fairview Animal Medical Center, your other family doctor. Fairview Animal Medical Center is a proud supporter of the Owatonna Today Show.
Recreational fires are allowed within the Owatonna city limits. They must be contained within a fire pit or a device designed for such use, and can be 3 feet in diameter and no more than 3 feet high. They must be 25 feet from a building or combustibles. Only untreated or unpainted woods must be used. Fires must be attended by a person at all times that are capable of extinguishing the fire. This has been a safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hello, I'm David Einhaus with the Owatonna Foundation. Thank you to all of our donors who have helped make Owatonna a better place to live. Will you join us today with a financial gift? Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, and we are visiting with 2 officers from the Owatonna Police Department. We're talking with Matt Oeltjenbruns and then Brady Vaith. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Now you're here to talk to us about something special today. We're talking about the evidence technician course, and I take it that you've both been through the course?
Yes.
So would you like to share with us, Matt, a little bit about how the course came to Owatonna and officers decided to take it?
I guess I don't know what year it was implemented, but I'm with the Detective Bureau with our department, and so it's one of the prerequisites, I guess, we have to have in order to be in the investigations or detective part of it. So that way we're trained up on knowing what to do when we go to crime scenes or we get called out of our sleep or whatever it may be, to be able to come assist the officers.
Now, you have the officers, and then you're an officer, but you're also a detective. What differentiates a detective from an officer?
Not a whole lot. I guess I applied for the school resource officer at the Owatonna Junior High School. I was awarded that position, I guess, and it also, with our department, it's part of the Detective Bureau. Other departments, it's part of the patrol function yet. But this is where with my department, this is the way it is, and there's really nothing that differentiates us, I guess.
And why is an evidence technician course important? Could you give a few highlights on why it is important?
When we arrive at scenes, we get one chance to be able to make sure that a crime scene is going to be secure, and that we're going to get the evidence that we need to make people be held responsible for what they have committed, and for prosecution, and be able to understand what took place at that, whether it be a residence or business or wherever the crime scene may be. We get one chance and be able to make sure that we follow through and do our part to make sure that whether it's the public or that individual, that they know we did our best to try to put a best foot forward, I guess.
Now, Brady, you took the course, and what did the course involve? What did they actually teach the officers during this time?
Well, it was a week-long course. We went through a lot of things. Some of them were photographing, casting of footprints or tire tracks, lifting fingerprints, and then actual collecting of evidence. Mm-hmm. And then part of that, they went through case studies, which they showed us how important, what they did led to the prosecution of, the suspect.
And how is it not like TV? Like what we see on all the CSI shows.
A lot of it's not like TV. The evidence that we collect usually takes 3, 4, 5 months to come back. You're not going to get it back at the end of the 30-minute show. It just doesn't happen that way. And most of the time you need to have a suspect in mind to test that evidence against. It's just, you don't put it in a central database and everybody gets convicted that way. It's usually you have to have a good idea of who you're going up against.
Mm-hmm. And this course is a week long, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can you give us an example of the protocol in a situation? And there's a crime, and there's a crime situation. Can you give us an example of the protocol? How would you work as a team?
Well, or patrol would respond first. If it's a burglary or something that's maybe not as intensive as an assault, let's say. So a burglary would come out and maybe 1 or 2 officers would handle it. I would go through, collect the evidence, photograph, make sure that we try to get every bit of evidence that's there collected. If it's a higher priority or more of a person crime, an assault, a crim sex or something like that, we would call out an investigator and we would have more people to process that scene.
Okay. So based on, you're the officer that would discover the scene.
Correct.
So you do a lot of this evidence collecting right then and there?
Right. Yep.
Okay.
And a lot of it is too just to know to keep the area safe, keep everybody out, and then start collecting. Because the biggest thing is keep everybody safe on scene.
Could you define safe? Are you meaning the evidence safe or people safe?
Both.
Okay.
Making sure that there's not a suspect still on scene, or that a suspect doesn't come into your area, knowing that you're collecting evidence that may lead you to them.
Matt, what were some of the highlights of the course for yourself?
Some of the highlights, I guess, with the photography we did. Basically, they said pictures, pictures, pictures. So all week we took lots of pictures, obviously, but knowing that the cameras that we have can adjust to light and dark. There's rooms that we were in that were completely dark, and then there's different substances that we can put on, like latent footprints, other things that we were able to see these in complete dark and be able to get pictures of them. And that way we can send them to the BCA here in Minnesota and see if they can match them up against, let's say we have a shoe that we took for evidence. They could try to match those up for us. And the casting was pretty cool too, where it's like a dental stone that it activates with water, and you're able to put that on the footprint, and it hardens and then has a footprint for you, and you can put that in evidence, and it's not gonna go away. It's not like it's dust or anything like that. Mm-hmm. It's a stone that's gonna stay that way through the prosecution, at least.
So a lot of technology has been added
right
to it. So when you're in this scene or this crime scene or whatever, and you say make safe and all that, on TV we see they go take them down to a room and they question them. Do you, to discern what kind of evidence you should collect, do you interview on site to know that?
A lot of times we don't have the suspect on site, so we don't know what we're looking for. So a lot of it is talk with the homeowner or talk with the victim to see what belongs there and what doesn't belong there, and then be able to collect some stuff that the victim says is there or shouldn't be there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What was one highlight for you taking the class?
Some of the highlights for me was when they would go through and show us what we needed to do, and then they would show us the case study, a case that they actually worked, that they brought to prosecution, and ended up ultimately winning because of what they did. So just having them show us how important the collection and everything that we were doing mm-hmm. really is.
What do you both find, and you can both relate here, what would be the biggest challenge of being an evidence technician? What is the biggest challenge you have when you come on site?
I guess for me, I guess knowing that Brady's going to be there, or a couple other officers that we have on this physical evidence officer unit, I guess. For me, it's nice knowing that they know what they're doing on that aspect of it. Nothing against other officers or anything like that, but having this training I think helps. You know, if we could send everybody through it, it'd be awesome. But the biggest thing is to make sure we know the officers are going to have the scene secure. Make sure that they're not ruining evidence by walking through the scene, whatever it may be. I mean, if we have a person that needs help, obviously we got to deal with getting them out of there and getting them the help they need. That's first and foremost. But if it is a scene where there is nobody there and the scene is secure, making sure that everybody stays out of it and they're not walking around causing issues or wrecking evidence.
And what would you say, Brady, for you that the challenge is?
The biggest challenge is probably TV. People expect us to come in and find evidence, and there's not always going to be evidence there. And they want us to, find that person right now, and it's not always the case. And sometimes it does take a long time, and it's hard for people to see over and over again that their hour-long TV show, they get the guy at the end. We don't always get our guy, or we don't always get them, not in a timely fashion, but not in that timely fashion that they want. Sometimes it might take a couple years before we get that person.
Mm-hmm. Now, out of how many officers do we have in Owatonna? Do you know offhand how many police officers have gone through this training?
How many that have gone through the training?
I think there's 5 of us.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And is it a continuing sort of thing? Will you go back and take more levels of learning in this type of course, or do they pretty much encompass it in 1 week's time?
I think they encompass it in 1 week's time. I don't think there's an advanced level for it, at least not in Minnesota. It might be somewhere else in the United States, that kind of thing. But they might send us to it to, just refresh our skills, that kind of thing, and making sure that we're staying on top of our game.
Mm-hmm.
This was more of an overall, so we can specialize maybe on blood splatter or in photograph. But that's kind of the biggest thing is this was an overall thing for us. So now if we want to specialize in something, we can.
Which is great, because if you notice a certain amount of crime in a certain area, that may lead you to want to specialize, maybe take more courses or whatever. So,
right.
Well, we appreciate all you do for us in Owatonna to keep us safe, and thank you for taking the course, and we wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We will take a short break to hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back, so please stay with us.
Hi, my name is Ryan Gillespie with Bremer Bank Mortgage. By trusting your home loan needs to Bremer Bank, you are guaranteed a personalized, straightforward, and honest experience from application to closing. We look forward to guiding you through your next home purchase or refinance.
I didn't just want another job, I wanted a career, so I expressed myself.
I was new to town and I didn't know where to turn for a job, so I decided to express myself.
I decided to express myself, and they helped find the right career for me.
Express Employment Professionals is in contact with thousands of companies in need of quality employees. Come in now and get the job you deserve.
Express yourself today.
I'm Bill Owens with the Owatonna Business Incubator. Whether your business is just starting out or is expanding, we have the office space and manufacturing space that you need. As the Small Business Counseling Center for this region, we are able to help you in your expansion or your startup of your business. We are a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, Warren Abraham, Abraham Consulting Technologies, your one-stop technology shop. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, I'm Tim Anderson, the owner of Anytime Fitness, where we make getting healthy affordable and convenient. Anytime Fitness is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. And we're here visiting with our friends from Open Arms Yellow Ribbon. We're going to learn all about their organization. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hey.
And we're going to introduce you lovely people. And first here we have
Angela Howe.
And
Robert Sikel.
Jeff Howe.
Okay. And are any of you a director or president, or you just work as a team?
Angie and I are co-presidents of our organization. Jeff, what's your position?
Vice President.
Vice President, yep.
Okay. Now, Open Arms is a local chapter of Yellow Ribbon.
Yep.
And Yellow Ribbon, would you explain on a national level what the Yellow Ribbon is?
Yellow Ribbon started in 1994 in Denver, Colorado area, and I believe they're in 36 countries right now, so it's an international, actually.
Okay. And Open Arms is something that you named your local organization attached to the Yellow Ribbon, the bigger organization. So our local group's called Open Arms, and
Yep.
that was named by your group, correct?
Yep, yep. It came from a drawing that Jacob actually had, and it kind of looked like a picture of an open arm, a person with open arms. That was actually Jacob's logo that he said, this is going to mean something someday to one of his friends. So he actually slammed that down on the desk, and his friend told us that story, and we knew right then and there we were going to be using that logo for something. So
Today's subject is serious, although it started all out of a sad situation, but you're moving forward and you're doing a lot of positive things. So it is serious, but we want to shed light on what you're doing as a group as well. So tell us how Open Arms Yellow Ribbon got started here locally.
Well, it started in 2012 when Angie and my son died by suicide. That was in July. We didn't want another family to have to deal with that kind of pain. My sister helped out, reached out to the International Yellow Ribbon program that's in Colorado, and found out what steps we needed to take to be trained in how to present to kids or adults or, police or, everything out there. There's a different program for. We went down for 3 days worth of training down there, and they taught us the correct terminology on how to use the word suicide, because you don't not want to use the word suicide. You definitely want to use the word suicide, because one thing that always stuck with me about that was you can only prevent suicide if you talk about it. So that's one main point that has always stuck with me.
So you organized Yellow Ribbon Open Arms, and you've got the organization organized at this point. And how do you get the word out there? What is it that you do? You took the class, and you got trained, and now what are you doing, Angela? Now that you got back in town, you have the organization organized.
We like to go get into the schools and speak to the kids. We speak at a fountain treatment center in Albert Lee. We also go to churches, fire departments. We've, that kind of thing. The ambulance crew we have spoke with. We just get the word out there and get out there to speak to each school, or if we can get in there. So.
What are some of the points, Jeff, that you touch on when you go to these schools and speak?
Our number one thing we touch on, it's okay to ask for help no matter what your problem is. It's not, our program really has to be used just because you're suicidal. If it's we hand out cards, and it's a conversation starter. It gets the conversation started. So we encourage everybody to talk to somebody. Even when someone feels they have nobody left in this world, we let them know that you are someone's one and only, whether it's grandma, grandpa, mom and dad, aunt, uncle, friend. We talk about the statistics with suicides, the age group with them, and then depression is 80% of depression is curable. So it's okay to get the help, and you don't have to be ashamed to ask for help.
Is there any signs or signals that you were trained in to watch for, to teach parents or other friends of teenagers what to look for?
There's a ton of signs. I mean, a lot of times them signs are, if they're suddenly going from being sad to being happy, obviously sometimes people take that as, they're over it now, everything's going to be better. But sometimes they've already made a decision that they're gonna end their lives if they've been depressed long enough and they haven't had the help. And then you can go the other way where they're always happy and then they turn sad, and then if they're always sad and then they turn happy, it goes both ways. It's hard to put everything out there as far as what the signs of suicide are, but they're so abrupt sometimes that you can't catch them, which it was with Jacob. I mean, he was not depressed. I mean, and sometimes, like I said, there is no signs.
Now, you have these cards with you that you give out when you talk to different people about this, and let's go through the card. Jeff, tell us what
the front of our
information
card
is on here.
The front of our card will tell you what the card is, what to do if you need help, and or you hand it to somebody. It tells that person what the card is. So then you just flip it over, and on the back it's got 3 general rules to do with that person if you get the card. Number 1 is stay with them. Unless you're in imminent danger, obviously get yourself out of there. The second one is listen. That's always a fun one to talk to because I'm a really great listener. But people in general are not great listeners. We listen with our mouths and not our ears. So that's a fun one to talk to with kids and just, people in general. And then, call or get help immediately, whether it's call 911 or getting your mom and dad or their mom and dad or whoever, getting an adult to help. And then we got the National Suicide Hotline numbers listed on here also. Minnesota has Text for Life, which is a good one. These kids can text the word life to 61222 and tell them their problem. Those people on the other end, they go through a lot of training to answer the phone or answer a text. This is what we live by.
Are these cards given out at your presentation?
Yep.
So it said here, it carries a message that there are those who care and will help, and it tells them who to go to. And then, so this is, and it's got a yellow ribbon on it. So this tells you, I need to use my yellow ribbon. So, in other words, if someone came up and handed this, the more people that are educated in this, and someone came up and handed this to me, as little as I know right now.
But it's literally this easy.
And so I know now what this person's telling me.
Yeah. Yep.
So we need to help them.
Your natural reaction to someone handing something to you is to take it. It's that easy.
And if someone just gave you that, it doesn't mean they're suicidal always neither.
Right.
It could be they could be molested or they just need help in general.
Just something. It gives them the courage.
And there was a story about a little girl who was in a presentation such as ours, not ours, but such as ours. She ended up going through the program, and she had the courage to give that to her counselor. And it wasn't that she was suicidal; it was that she wanted the help because she was being molested at home.
She just didn't know how to ask.
She didn't know how to ask, and that was the way to do it. The one other thing that we do with the students especially is we give them 2 cards no matter what. They always get 2 cards at least, and they can have as many as they want, but we give them 2 cards so that they can go home and their parents don't find a suicide card in their pocket and freak out. They don't want to worry about that. So go home and tell your parents. What you learned today is what we try and tell them.
Quickly, I want to touch on 2 things. Have you gotten a response? Do you know that this has worked?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Every time we do a presentation, no matter where it is, our phones, the 3 of ours, 4 or 5 of us, maybe our phones just blow up with people just saying thank you or telling us their story or they need the help.
And that's got to make you feel so good. Is that's the whole reason it started. And Jacob, in Jacob's honor, it's just got to really feel great that you're making a difference in other people's lives. Let's talk real quick as an organization, where you can be contacted and what you do in 1 sentence or 2 as an organization to help people in the area as far as funds and things.
We can be contacted at openarmsyellowribbon.org or .com. But what we do for the public is a lot of times we'll put on a bowling event for the kids. It's completely free. A lot of this stuff is, we got a couple of fundraisers as pancake breakfast at the VFW. We do Ride for Hope with the Wingers, and then we do our own in September, Jacob's Run. So.
And you help others who've gone through the same experience.
Yep.
So that's really wonderful. Well, thank you for all you do, taking something really painful and turning it into something positive. We appreciate the difference you make in the community, and we're glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will take a short break to hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back. So please stay with us.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Hi, I'm Rich from Sign Pro and Auto Trim Design, a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. Come and see us for all your sign and truck accessory needs.
Welcome back to the Owatonna Today Show, your community connection. And at this time, it's time for our community announcements. Crooks, Crimes, and Corruption, a day trip to St. Paul with the Steele County Historical Society on Thursday, June 9th. Please call 507-451, excuse me, 1420 to make your reservation, as seating is limited to 50 people. Prepayment of $75 will secure your post. Trip includes travel and lunch. The cities of Faribault, Northfield, and Owatonna invite the public to attend a free rain garden workshop, Planting for Pollinators, on Saturday, June 11th. Workshop is 9:30 to 12:30 at the Faribault Public Works Building at 1200 Bellevue Trail in Faribault. Space is limited and pre-registration is required. Interested individuals may contact City of Owatonna Water Quality Specialist Brad Rademacher at 507-774-7300. JC Pavilion Open House, June 13th, 7 p.m. at the JC Park Pavilion, 631 Rice Street, Owatonna, Minnesota, 55060, and there's a program, and you won't want to miss that. It's with council members and all sort of things, so you want to be there for that. And Power of the Purse, a fundraiser for Dolly Parton Imagination Library, Tuesday, June 14th, 5:30 to 8 p.m. at the Owatonna Country Club. Live and silent auctions, and it'll be $50 per person. And then Movies in the Park is starting Friday, June 17th at Central Park. You won't want to miss those. Well, we want to thank you for joining us today, and we hope you'll join us on Friday when we'll be visiting on location the new Gold Cross Ambulance Facility, and then we'll be interviewing John Havelka about the 4th of July fireworks. So you'll want to see us on Friday. Meanwhile, have a great day.